Time is the most valuable asset, and most people don't know how to control their time and get their appointments to fit in around their previous commitments. I'm going to go over 4 key ways you can master the art of the reschedule to make it work better for you. And before I break that down, if you like what you hear, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and we will keep this content coming. So here's what I'm talking about. A lot of agents, especially when they're maybe new in the business or they're trying to build their business up or sell more properties, or maybe the client intimidates them, they just say yes to everything. And I'm not saying don't be a yes. Being a yes is a mindset thing. What I'm saying is be mindful of your schedule, because there's certainly times when people ask to go look at a property, for you to come by their home, to schedule a call, that the time is not going to work for you, and people just say yes anyway and feel like they've got to move their life around. One of the key things that I learned early on in my career is one of the most simple scripts you're ever going to see. And it's as easy as, hey, unfortunately, that time's not going to work. I have 8 o'clock available, or I can do 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Which one's going to be better? And this may seem simple. When you give people a choice, invariably they will pick one, because you're giving them options, which is a key component to being a great salesperson. A lot of real estate agents are afraid to give any sort of resistance on the scheduling. So it's as simple as, hey, unfortunately that's not going to work. I've got X or Y available. And if you want to be very smart about this, I would offer a time before the proposed meeting from the consumer or the client or whoever you're trying to get together with, and a time after that person wants to meet. So that way there's not that objection that says, well, you couldn't get me in there soon enough, or you weren't available to meet early enough. Well, I gave you 2 options. You picked the later one, so that kind of eliminates that objection. This is one of the easiest scripts out there, and all you have to do is say, unfortunately, that doesn't work. I've got X or Y available. Pick an earlier time or a later time and leave it up to the consumer. And this will be easy if you're keeping a calendar in the first place. So that's number 1, the X or Y option. It's really, really simple here and very effective. All you've got to do is just have the times available and make sure you got your calendar locked in the first place. The second tip here, people don't care what you have going on personally. So if you want to reschedule appointments around your schedule, the easiest thing to do is to tell them, hey, you know what, Wendy? I'm in an appointment then, or I've got another appointment scheduled. So unfortunately, I can't meet you at 2. I could do 12 o'clock that day, or I could meet you in the evening at 6 o'clock. Which one is going to be better for you? Now, that appointment could be having a meeting with your accountant to do your taxes, getting your hair cut, working out, picking up your kids from school, whatever it is. Nobody cares what you have going on personally. And when you tell people things like, hey, I've got a baby shower to go to, or I'm going to a holiday party, or whatever else, it's going to lower their opinion of you as a professional. Is it fair? Absolutely not. Is it reality? 100%. Consumers don't care about what's going on in your life. They care about what's going on in theirs. And especially in housing, availability is going to be important. So don't tell them what you have going on. Tell them I have an appointment. You're not lying. It's an appointment with yourself. And if it's in your calendar and it's one of those rocks you schedule around, it's easy to schedule around it with the method I shared with you in point number 1. So we've got the X or Y technique. We've got using I'm always in an appointment, not telling them what you have going on. The next technique, at least this one worked really well for me, is we know mornings, that's income producing activity time as real estate agents. That's when you should be on the phone having conversations, because it's way easier to control the morning than it is controlling the afternoon when you've got meetings happening, you got people coming in, you have deals you're negotiating. All the whirlwind of the business comes into play there. So instead of saying, hey, I'm prospecting for new business in the morning, I've got a standing meeting every morning, so the earliest I'm going to be able to meet you is after 11 o'clock. And I stood by this standard in my business. It was a personal standard for me. I still do it. I'm still making calls every day. I make about 700 phone calls a week. That standard of having a standing meeting every single morning and not bending on it will make you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars if you're committed to making calls and prospecting and setting appointments. You just got to make the decision to do it. And when you prioritize income-producing activities, then it's easier to detach from the outcome, to let things play out and to control your business more because you have predictable income coming in thanks to predictable income producing activities. But don't tell people, hey, I'm calling expired listings or I'm circle dialing. It's, hey, I've got a standing meeting every morning to get my business ready to go, and I can meet you after 11 o'clock. Is that going to work with you? Or I can meet you at 8 a.m. Use the technique we went over in number 1, the X or Y method. Lastly, this is going to be the most important in my view, because all the other stuff is scripting and training. You can learn that literally after you get done this video and practice it and role play it. The fourth one is you need to have a schedule in the first place that's time blocked with your rocks that are the most important things, personal commitments. What are you doing with your household, your kids, your family, whatever? Are you exercising every day? Meetings that you've got to be at for your company or your organization or your team or just at your brokerage, whatever it is. Those things have got to be in your calendar, because when you start booking things, you'll forget that you have to go to the doctor's appointment or you have to go pick somebody up if you're a parent, right? So you've got to have all this stuff in your calendar. When you don't put things in your calendar, it shows people, and it would show me if I was to inspect it, that you're just not committed to doing anything really. And that's where you can get lost. And when you have the same schedule every day, sure, it may be boring. It may be mundane. It might not be exciting. It's going to make you a heck of a lot of money and help you get your business to where you want to go because it's scalable and repeatable. So calls in the morning, appointment time slots in the afternoon, whatever meetings you have going on from like a training perspective, whenever you're skill building, have the same schedule every day, at least Monday through Friday, and it's going to be way easier to stick to it and just put every single thing possible in your calendar so that way when you have to use the X or Y technique or you have another appointment you need to be on, you know exactly when this stuff is happening. I know this all sounds simple. I guarantee you if you implement it all, you'll have more control over your time, you'll be more efficient, more effective, and ultimately more committed to what matters most, which is the main thing. And the main thing in real estate is selling houses.